So, picture this. You sit down at your desk and you just want to check one quick email before jumping into a massive project.
Oh, it's always just one quick email.
Right. And the clock on the wall says 2:00 p.m. So you click a couple links, you read a thread, maybe respond to a quick message, and then you blink, and suddenly it's 3:15.
Yeah, the classic time warp.
Exactly. You haven't even started your actual project, and an hour and 15 minutes have just completely vanished. Where does that time go?
That is the million-dollar question, isn't it? We usually assume that to fix this, we need some, like, super complex, multi-tiered productivity system.
Yeah, some huge overhaul.
Right. But when you look at how we actually talk about time on a daily basis, you realize the solutions are often, hiding right there in plain sight.
Which is why today we're doing a deep dive into a rather unique source. We're trying to figure out exactly why time slips away from us so easily, and more importantly, how we can intentionally get it back.
And the source we're looking at is really fascinating because it's not what you'd expect.
No, not at all. It's not some 600-page academic textbook on organizational psychology. It's actually a conversational English learning guide.
Yeah, it's titled Mastering the Clock, English Conversations on Time Management.
Right. And it features a very straightforward dialogue between two characters, Aman and Ria, who are just, discussing their daily routines.
And honestly, by using a language guide, we are getting something incredibly valuable here.
How so?
Well, think about it. When you're teaching a language, you have to strip away all the corporate jargon. You're forced to communicate concepts in their absolute simplest, most direct form.
Oh, that makes total sense. You can't hide behind buzzwords.
Exactly. You get straight to the core of human behavior.
So our mission for this deep dive is to use that simplicity to our advantage. We want to extract the foundational truths of time management that are kind of hidden in this basic dialogue.
Yeah, because the goal is to figure out why the problem is rarely a literal lack of time in the day, but rather, how we're directing our attention.
Right. Ultimately, we want to help you work smarter instead of just working harder. So if you frequently feel completely overwhelmed by the clock, trust us, it is completely understandable.
Oh, absolutely. But by going back to basics and analyzing what Aman and Ria discuss, we can rediscover these really simple, highly effective strategies.
Things to help us not only stay productive, but also significantly lower our daily stress level.
Yeah, which I think we could all use.
Definitely. So before we can begin to actually manage our time effectively, we have to understand the mechanics of how we lose it in the first place.
We have to identify the leak.
Right. And there's a line in the source material that serves as a really powerful best line for this whole conversation. It simply states, once time is gone, we can't get it back.
It sounds so obvious, but it's a stark reminder that time is like the ultimate asymmetrical resource.
What do you mean by asymmetrical in this context?
Well, think about how we treat our other resources, right? If you make a bad investment and lose $100,
You can just work extra hours and make that money back.
exactly. Or if you burn yourself out and completely deplete your physical energy, you can take a long weekend, get some sleep, and your energy is pretty much restored.
Right. You can refill the tank,
Yeah.
but time only flows in one direction.
Exactly. You spend a minute, and it is gone from the universe permanently. There is no refund policy on time.
That's a little terrifying when you put it like that.
It is. And this brings us to the core issue. Because we can't get it back, the real question becomes, where is it flowing without our permission?
Right. And the text points directly to the most common drain in modern life, which, shocker, is our phones and social media.
Oh yeah, the absolute biggest culprit.
Aman and Ria observe a phenomenon that I think everyone, literally everyone, can relate to. You open an app with the firm intention of looking at it for just 5 minutes.
Just a quick scroll.
Right. And suddenly an entire hour has evaporated.
Which highlights this massive disconnect between our conscious intentions and our actual behavior.
Yeah, it's like our brains just shut off.
Well, the text points out that these distractions consume more time than we realize. And I think the key phrase there is, then we realize.
Let's talk about the mechanics of why that happens. Because I've often heard the analogy that checking your phone is basically like walking into a casino.
Oh, I love that analogy. It's so accurate.
Right. A casino is engineered from the ground up to remove friction. There are no clocks, there are no windows, just endless rows of games designed to keep you playing and playing.
And the behavioral logic is exactly the same with our devices. Look at the physical world versus the digital world.
Okay, give me an example.
Well, in the physical world, your environment provides natural stopping points, right? Like if you sit down to read a physical book, you eventually reach the end of the chapter.
Or the bottom of the page and you have to physically turn it.
Exactly. Or if you're washing dishes, eventually the sink is empty. These natural boundaries give your mind a brief moment to pause and sort of gauge the passage of time.
Oh, I see. But a digital feed has no bottom.
None at all. It is entirely frictionless.
Right, it just keeps auto-loading.
So your initial intention to just check for 5 minutes gets completely overridden. The digital environment demands absolutely zero effort from you to keep going.
You don't realize the time has passed because you haven't encountered a single point of physical friction to, like, snap you out of it.
Exactly. There's nothing to remind you to check the clock.
Okay, so if the endless, frictionless feed is how we lose an hour, how do we intentionally reclaim that hour? Because the antidote presented in the text is daily planning.
Yeah, the guide defines good time management not as just moving faster, but as planning and organizing to give direction to your day.
Direction. I really like that word.
It completely shifts the goal, doesn't it? It's not about filling every available minute with a task. It's about knowing which way you're actually steering the ship.
And the specific tactics suggested by Ria in the text to find that direction is writing down just 3 important tasks.
Just 3. Not a massive rolling list of everything you need to do this entire month. Just 3 tasks.
Okay, here's where I have to push back on the text a little bit.
Oh, go for it.
Because if I look at my calendar right now, I have like 20 things that desperately need to be done today.
As most of us do, yeah.
Right. There are urgent emails, a project deadline is looming, there are phone calls to return, and, personal errands.
The list never really ends.
It doesn't. So if I only write down 3 tasks, it feels like I'm just ignoring the reality of my responsibilities. I mean, isn't telling someone to just write down 3 things vastly oversimplifying a genuinely busy life?
I totally get that. It definitely feels like an uncomfortable constraint when you first try it, like you're dropping the ball on the other 17 things.
Exactly. It feels irresponsible.
But the text provides a really crucial reminder here, which is not all tasks are equally important.
Okay, fair point.
When you look at a list of 20 items, your brain processes them as a blur of equal urgency. And that blur is exactly what causes the feeling of overwhelm.
Yeah, you see 20 things and you just freeze.
Right, just like a wall of stress. So by forcing yourself to filter that list down to just 3, you are actively separating what is truly valuable from what is merely, urgent.
It's a filtering mechanism.
Exactly. It forces you to ask a very difficult question. Imagine the internet were going to go down at noon today, and you could only accomplish 3 things before that happened.
Oh, wow. That puts it in perspective.
Right. Which 3 tasks would actually move your work forward?
So it's about avoiding the trap of simply being busy and focusing entirely on being effective.
Yes, and there's a huge psychological benefit to this that the text points out. Tackling those important tasks first actively reduces your stress later in the day.
I can completely validate that. I mean, think about what happens when you avoid the biggest, most difficult task on your list.
Oh, it's the worst feeling.
You spend the whole morning doing easy things, right? Replying to minor emails, organizing your desktop folders, but that big project is just looming there in the background.
Because avoiding it actually requires continuous mental effort.
Really? How so?
Well, it sits there casting a shadow over your entire day. It's draining your energy through this constant low-level anxiety.
Oh, that makes so much sense.
By dealing with the heavy lifting early, you remove that anxiety. The rest of the day feels significantly lighter. You aren't just managing your schedule, you're actively managing your stress levels.
Okay, so we've done the hard work. We've filtered our 20 tasks down to our top 3. We know our direction.
We have our battle plan.
Right. But the immediate temptation, and I admit I fall into this trap constantly, is to try and execute all 3 of those important tasks at the exact same time.
Oh yeah, multitasking, the great modern myth.
We really do think that if we write the report while simultaneously listening to the conference call and checking our inbox, we're somehow cheating the clock.
We feel so productive doing it too. But we all know multitasking doesn't actually work. We've heard it a million times.
Right. But what I find really fascinating about this conversational guide is how it frames the failure of multitasking. It's not framed as a loss of speed, but as a loss of focus.
Yes. The source text explicitly warns against it. Aman points out that research shows doing one task at a time improves focus.
Let's look at the mechanics of why multitasking is such a destructive illusion. Imagine a chef in a really busy restaurant kitchen.
Okay, I'm picturing it.
If that chef tries to cook 3 completely different complex meals on 3 different stoves at the exact same time, they aren't actually cooking all 3 at once.
Right, they can't be in 3 places at once.
Exactly. They are just frantically running back and forth between the 3 stoves.
Yeah, just constantly putting out fires.
And the time isn't lost in the cooking itself. Like, the boiling water takes the same amount of time no matter what you do. The time is lost in the running back and forth.
Oh, that's a great point.
It's lost when the chef stops at the second stove and has to think, wait, did I already salt this pan? How long has this been simmering?
Yes. The mental effort of constantly reorienting yourself to a new context is where your efficiency just completely dies.
Context switching is brutal.
It is. Every time you switch from the email to the report and back to the email, your brain has to spend a few moments figuring out where you left off.
You completely lose your momentum.
You do.
Yeah.
And the text points out that when we focus fully on one thing, we actually finish it faster.
Because you're in the zone.
Right. By cooking the first meal perfectly, plating it, and then moving to the next stove, you never have to rebuild your focus from scratch.
Maintaining a steady, continuous momentum is always going to be faster than starting and stopping over and over.
Exactly.
But, if we are maintaining that intense, singular focus and driving that one task all the way to completion, we inevitably hit another wall. We get tired.
We are human, after all.
True. And this brings us to one of the most vital and, frankly, sometimes the hardest to accept lessons from the source material, which is taking breaks.
It feels so counterintuitive, doesn't it? Especially in a culture that often equates working longer hours with getting more done.
Right, like if you're not at your desk suffering, you're not working. But the text is very clear that good time management does not mean working all day.
It explicitly says that.
The specific rule they mention is that regular breaks improve productivity, and they even suggest taking a short walk to refresh the mind.
Which is a great suggestion.
But let me challenge this for a second, because when you are staring down a massive deadline at, say, 3:00 p.m., the idea of stepping away from your desk to take a walk feels completely irresponsible.
Oh, it feels like self-sabotage.
Exactly. It feels like you are just throwing away precious minutes that you desperately need to finish the project.
That is the natural fear, and it's a very, very common one.
Mm-hmm.
But if we follow the logic we've already established from the text.
Which is that time management is about clear direction and sustained focus.
Right. If that's true, then a tired mind is actually a massive liability.
How so? I mean, you're still typing, right?
You're typing, sure, but your focus is splintering. When you're exhausted, you start reading the same paragraph 3 times without understanding a single word of it.
Oh, I've definitely been there.
We all have. And worse, you start making careless mistakes.
Right.
And when you make mistakes, you have to spend even more time going back and fixing them later.
So the walk isn't a loss of time at all. It's actually a strategic investment in the quality of the time you're about to spend when you sit back down.
Precisely. A refreshed mind works faster and with significantly more clarity. You easily make up for the 10 minutes you spent walking because you are no longer fighting through that thick fog of fatigue.
Wow, okay. This transitions us beautifully into the larger theme of the text, which is the incredible power of microhabits.
Oh, I love this part.
We often assume that to fix our chaotic lives, we need this massive, sweeping lifestyle overhaul.
Like a completely new, color-coded calendar system.
Right. But the guide argues something very different. It says that small daily habits create big results.
It's all about the compounding power of behavior. Small, consistent actions build a solid foundation that those math unsustainable overhauls simply can't match.
And the text gives us a few very specific, practical examples of this. Ria talks about waking up just a little bit earlier to create her to-do list.
Establishing that direction before the day even really begins.
Exactly. And Aman shares a habit that ties everything we've talked about together perfectly. He talks about turning off notifications while he works.
Think about how that connects directly back to our discussion about the frictionless trap of the phone.
Oh, right, because we established that digital environments steal time because they lack natural boundaries.
Exactly. So by turning off notifications, you are intentionally putting friction back into your environment.
You're basically building a wall.
Yes, you are building a defensive perimeter around your focus. I mean, it takes 2 seconds to flip that switch on your phone, right?
Yeah, barely any effort at all.
But that tiny action ensures that the outside world cannot just barge in and derail your attention whenever it feels like it.
You are protecting your most valuable, limited resource, with a single micro habit. That is so powerful.
It really is.
Now, because our source material today is fundamentally an English learning guide, it naturally spends time on the actual language we use.
Which is always so revealing.
It really is. The phrases the book highlights reveal a tremendous amount about how we talk about time, which in turn reveals exactly how we think about it.
The vocabulary of time is incredibly telling when you stop and actually listen to it.
Right. So they highlight everyday phrases like, I'm running out of time and I need to manage my time better. But then they also include the classic phrase, time flies when you're having fun.
The contrast between those concepts is just striking.
Yeah, let's unpack that.
Think about the phrase running out of time. It frames time as a predator.
Oh, that's a visceral way to put it.
But it does. It implies that you are being chased, that your resources are terrifyingly scarce, and that you are fundamentally losing control of the situation.
It's basically a language of pure anxiety.
Exactly. But then you look at time flies when you're having fun. In that scenario, time isn't a predator at all.
No, it's almost invisible.
Right. Losing track of time isn't always a bad thing. When you're deeply engaged in something joyful, time disappears in a positive way. It becomes an experience rather than a threat.
Which tells us something really profound about our ultimate objective here. The goal of time management isn't to meticulously track every single second of our lives with a stopwatch just so we can work more.
No, definitely not.
The goal is to manage the mundane, necessary tasks efficiently, so we actually have more room for those moments where time flies.
And the guide provides a really strong motivational anchor for this. It states that success is built one day at a time, and that every minute used wisely brings you closer to your goals.
But I love that it balances that motivation with a crucial dose of reality. The underlying lesson of these conversations isn't about achieving some flawless robotic routine.
No, it's about consistency.
Right. Consistency over perfection.
That is the key to all of this. Because if you set out to perfectly execute a 20-item checklist every single day without fail, what's going to happen?
You will inevitably hit a roadblock, fail, and probably just want to abandon the whole system entirely.
Exactly, because perfection is rigid. And when a perfectly rigid structure hits a snag, it shatters.
But consistency is different.
Consistency is resilient. It provides grace. If you get distracted today and accidentally lose an hour to your phone, consistency says, that is fine. Tomorrow is a new day. I will write down my 3 tasks, turn off my notifications, and try again.
That's such a healthier way to approach it. So to wrap up our journey today, we have learned that effective time management is not about moving faster or somehow squeezing more hours out of the day.
No, that's a losing game.
It's about choosing a clear direction and filtering out the noise. It's about avoiding the illusion of the multitasking chef, embracing the strategic power of a short walk, and building a defensive perimeter of small habits.
And, whether you're trying to find the time to write a novel, or you're preparing for a major corporate presentation, or even just trying to get your weekend chores done without feeling completely overwhelmed.
These foundational habits apply directly to you.
They really do. They work because they respect how our human attention naturally functions.
Success truly is built one day at a time. And we want to leave you with a final thought to ponder as you step back into your day. We talked extensively about how frictionless our devices are and how digital notifications are the absolute biggest threat to your sustained focus.
They are the ultimate time stealers.
So if you wanted to buy back an hour of your life tomorrow, what is the one notification you could permanently turn off on your device right now?
It's a micro habit. It takes 3 seconds to flip that switch, but the return on investment might just change your entire week.
Think about it. Thank you so much for joining us on this deep dive. We absolutely loved unpacking this with you, and we will catch you next time.